Welcome to the No Horsing Around podcast, guys. I'm back at it again. This is Mock Draft 3.0. And for this one, we got to bring the juice, right? Like, we got to bring it and come. It's getting close to actual draft season. So why wouldn't we bring the full crew together? I thought it'd be cool to get Derek and Cody. They really need no introduction. But, guys, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely, man. Crazy. It's less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're up on it. So just a little bit of ground rules for the people who are going to listen to the podcast. We're going to pick picks 1 through 42 under the premise of what we think that team should do. So we're going to be the GM for all of these teams. It'll be very interesting to see what we do with some other AFC South teams as well. But we'll just start off. I've got the screen share up, and we will start me 1. We're going to go Cody number 2.
Okay.
Derek's going to get the honors of going 3, which will eventually, in this mock draft, end up with the Colts pick. So he'll make the Chris Ballard, do his best Chris Ballard rendition at the very end of this thing.
Derek's got to get his Southern accent down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got to get that. Get it back up. All right. We will start the draft, and I'll make it really, really simple. I'm gonna go chalk here. I'm just gonna go Aiden Hutchinson. I don't believe any of the smoke that's a part of whatever anybody's talking about. I don't believe Thibodeau's gonna actually get drafted. I don't believe Walker's gonna soar up to be the number 1 pick. And I just think at the end of the day, Aiden Hutchinson fills a need. Probably one of the safest, cleanest picks in the draft. So number 1, cool. Jacksonville Jaguars, Aiden Hutchinson.
Easy enough. Yeah, let's see some of the players that are available here for number 2.
Okay.
I know we got quarterback, obviously a need for them. Linebacker, DB.
Yep.
It's interesting because they, a couple of years ago they picked Jeff Okudah, right, out of Ohio State. And that hasn't really worked out quite yet. We'll see, obviously, what happens. But I think right now, according to the board, I'm going to go Derek Stingley here at cornerback. Just give him another DB.
Okay.
And then we're at 3 here for Derek.
Yep, 3.
Every position. I love that. Every position for Houston.
Yeah, I know. I was telling him that earlier. Yeah, I think this will be interesting because, there's a lot of tackles that could be drafted here early, but I don't believe that the Texans are exactly going to do that. I definitely think they could stretch for a wide receiver at this point, but I think that they will probably refrain from doing so. I think they're going to go with the best defensive player available at that spot. So I'm going to go with Ahmad Gardner out of Cincinnati for them.
There you go. Lock it in.
Okay.
All right. Number 4. So this one's interesting for me in particular. I think the Jets have an opportunity to hit big on 4 and 10, and they can really just turn this thing around. I've went back and forth. I believe that they're probably ultimately going to want a wide receiver, potentially a pass rusher, and potentially an offensive lineman. I know they have Beckton, but he's often injured. So for me, I'm probably going to go with. I'm gonna go with Aquanu.
Okay, then I'll go Charles Cross next.
Charles Cross going to the Giants.
Yep. They need offensive
line. The fact that
help.
Both of you chose these 2 over Evan Neal just makes me sick. It honestly makes me sick. Evan Neal is the number 1 tackle prospect, and that is not to be discouraged by any means, okay? But since we're on the topic, it's basically their biggest need outside of quarterback is offensive line, and Evan Neal is the best one, so I'm going to go with Evan Neal there.
All right.
Sounds good. Bro, I'm just anticipating these teams being stupid, okay? So
No, you can't anticipate these teams being stupid, man. You have to be inside. You see, the point is, he said, we're going to be the GMs here, Cody. So you're insinuating that you're stupid by saying,
wow,
can't do that.
Right
Can't
there.
do that.
Derek, I've been working all day. I don't want to hear your sass.
Yeah. So have I, buddy.
So it looks like, well, we got the Giants on the clock here.
Again.
It's going to, man.
You already chose offensive linemen.
Yeah, I mean, they probably could use help in a lot of different places. Let's see here. I'm actually maybe gonna go switch it up a little bit. Let's see. Please let me do that. It's between Thibodeau. For me, it's between Thibodeau and Walker. I don't know if I buy into how far that Thibodeau's actually going to slide, so I'm probably going to take Thibodeau right here.
Probably a smart idea.
Probably a little bit chalky, but that's what I'm going to roll with. Where are you at, Derek?
Let's say this is Cody, isn't it?
It's my pick.
Yeah, Cody, my bad. Yeah,
you're fine. All right, so I'm going to go a little off here. I think the Falcons are going to get a little bit desperate here. So let's see the quarterbacks real fast. I think this is where the first quarterback's going to get overdrafted here. And I'm going to have them taking Malik Willis here. I know it's probably a little crazy, but teams are crazy when it comes to getting a franchise guy potentially.
Got it. Yep. We'll lock them in. All right. You're picking for the Seattle Seahawks, Derek.
Well, they need quarterback, tackle, edge rush, and cornerback. Well, I mean, geez, it really does depend on, if they get, Baker or not, because I truly don't believe that Drew Lock is going to be the quarterback of the future for them. But I do believe that they will probably go a different route than the quarterback route this draft specifically. So I don't even remember who the safeties are for the Seattle Seahawks. I honestly don't remember.
Is Jamal Adams still there?
Yeah. I think they feel bad about that trade that they made, honestly. But I do believe that Jamal Adams is still there. Kyle Hamilton's awful intriguing here, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is probably where he goes. I can't see him getting out of the top 10, so I'm going to choose Kyle Hamilton here. Another guy that's just I just couldn't imagine a Jamal Adams, Kyle Hamilton backfield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go. Let's see here. It'll let me scroll down. I think I'm going to try to go grab me a wide receiver right here. So I'm actually going to go Garrett Wilson, Ohio State guy. I know Drake London would be awful enticing in this situation, but I just think ultimately I think Garrett Wilson has an opportunity to be really, really good in the NFL, and so I'm going with, man.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So Washington, refresh me. What scheme do they run? Are they a 4-3 or are they a 3-4 team?
I believe they play 4-3 currently.
Okay. Gotcha. Just wasn't sure because I was looking at Karlaftis there and I was like, if they play a 3-4, he could potentially be a fit there, with what they want to do off the edge. Let's see. They have a quarterback. They obviously have Carson Wentz. Looks like they need some offensive line help. So let's go to offensive line, see who's still available on. We haven't drafted anybody in the interior. Let's see if there's any guys in the interior still, around.
One guy on the interior specifically that's really good.
Linderbaum?
Yep.
All right, we're going to pick Linderbaum here. A little bit of a reach according to this, but the best interior.
You can't always listen to PFF's rankings. Their rankings are their own personal rankings.
They are
you can't always listen to them. So
I would agree, but Linderbaum, I mean, I don't know that you can get a whole lot safer than that pick.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's like the best one, honestly. So,
yep.
All right, where are you at, Derek? You're on the clock for Minnesota.
Minnesota, man. So it looks like edge rush and cornerback. Well, I definitely think I think that they're gonna go edge, and I'm gonna go with Trayvon Walker here.
Okay. Let's see if we can't get down.
Get that edge guy.
Yeah,
There you go.
there he is.
Okay.
A guy who seems to be flying up draft boards, actually. So, I don't know if you buy into
Yeah,
that.
he really is flying up the draft boards. I've heard a lot of people saying he's top 15 bound easy now.
Yeah, I mean, I've even saw a couple mocks in the last couple days, like if you're on the Draft Network. He was like the second or third pick. I'm like, man, that's pretty rich in my opinion. But so we're back at the Houston Texans. We selected. Who did we select with the third pick? That was
Ahmad Gardner, the cornerback.
okay. So we went, and they still need every position. I think that they need help everywhere, honestly. But I think that they would like to get their wide receiver position resolved as well. I'm gonna end the slide for Drake London right here, and I'm gonna go with him.
Right.
Although, really and truly, just about any position is a need and an upgrade. But I'm gonna go with Drake London right here.
Okay.
Just try to give their quarterback more weapons, right? Because they have Brandon Cooks, but who else do they have? So
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you believe in Davis Mills being a good quarterback, but you're going to find out if you get some talent around him what you got there.
Exactly. All right. So Baltimore. Doesn't Karlaftis just seem like a Baltimore pick?
He does.
I mean, like they're like the Colts in the fact that they love their defensive linemen, man. I'm gonna go Karlaftis here.
Okay.
Because I think he's obviously a very talented player, and I think Baltimore is just always tinkering with that defensive line, it seems like. So he's kind of slid a little bit here. So
yeah, lock it in.
Yep.
All right. This is the first of two picks in the first round for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ironically enough, I'm getting both of these. So but I think that this one's very obvious. I mean, going back to the words of Giovanni, he's been telling Howie, we need linebackers. Okay. And the best linebacker is Devin Lloyd. So give me Devin Lloyd here for the Eagles at 15.
There you go.
That one's a very obvious one for me.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm kind of torn on this one here because they could go a lot of places. They could go quarterback. Obviously, they could upgrade the wide receiver room. They could go hell. They could even really go tackle. They're going to have to replace Terran Armstead. Let's see what's out there in the tackle world, and then
I think you're overthinking this a little too much, honestly.
Actually,
I think you're overthinking this. It's a little too much.
I think when it's all said and done, I'm just gonna pull the plug on Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
And go with probably the guy who would have been wide receiver one had he not tore his ACL.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Yeah. And he's supposed to be ahead of schedule. So there's teams that seem to think he will probably be ready by October at the latest. So you expect him to be ready for the season to start.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, looks like they need – I don't really know why wide receiver is necessarily a need for the Chargers because I think they have two pretty good ones here. So I think corner is probably the most immediate need. So I'm going to go Trent McDuffie here.
Okay. Very, very good cornerback, honestly. Like technically sound. I think his only gripe is he's a little bit slight in stature, but, man, I think the dude's awesome. So,
yep.
Then back at it again, your resident general manager looks like Derek's going to pick for the Eagles again.
Yes, sir. Despite what they're saying, I don't truly believe that they actually need help at the cornerback position. I think they could probably use some more help at a different spot. I don't know when their next pick would be in this. They don't have a second rounder. I gave them a linebacker. I don't think they draft wide receiver, but
I would.
My instincts are probably going with My instincts are definitely telling me to go wide receiver here because I think that's something Howie would do. So I'm gonna go Chris Olave here with the Eagles.
Yeah, it's not a
Man,
bad
the amount of capital they would have invested in wide receiver is insane.
I know they've been going wide receiver heavy for a long time, and they just haven't been able to hit the mark. But I think they'll hit the mark if they get Olave.
Yeah, I mean, what a technician, man. I love
For real.
Olave. I love Olave. So it looks like I'm back at it again with the Saints. So we went wide receiver. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get them some help on the offensive line. Whether they decide this year to go towards quarterback in the draft later on or whenever that would be. They're obviously going to need someone to be that protector, and I'm going to go with Raymond. He's a mauler. A lot of things to clean up on the NFL level, but I think he really projects really well in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Raymond.
Okay. Man.
Wow.
Cody,
Yeah,
if you're going tackle here, please let me know because I have a guy that you should definitely pick.
Well, I was gonna, and then he took Raymond. So yeah, I'm open ears here. Tell me.
Well, I mean, I think it's either you need to go. I think you need to go Tyler Smith at this pick. I think you need to.
Yeah, it looks like there's a run on tackles. There's not a whole lot, left that you love. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go Tyler Smith. I think that's a good pick.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Derek gets the New England Patriots.
Woo! Derek, make the pick a kick here, please.
Let's see here.
And no matter what we think about the Patriots, they're just going to do whatever the hell they want to do anyway.
Right.
So
True.
I am probably going with Treylon Burks here with New England here.
Interesting.
I think that big body, athletic wide receiver that they're looking for, Treylon just matches everything that you would want in a receiver.
There he is.
There it is.
Wow, that's
That's a very interesting pick, though. I mean, they've spent a lot of resources, with wide receivers. So but you're right. Like he is.
They need that number one guy, and I think Burks can be. And don't let the rank fool you. I mean, Treylon Burks for most people is wide receiver 4. I mean, it's really that high for him in a lot of areas. So
I was going to.
They have to get wide receiver here, right?
I mean, they gotta get them. So first of all, I am a ginormous Sky Moore fan. Mm-hmm. That being said, part of you feels like they want to go with the bigger body receiver because Aaron Rodgers just loves those guys. Gosh, this is just such a difficult position to be in. Man, I feel like it's early for Watson,
Yeah, it is.
I just feel like it's a little bit
early. I wouldn't say it is.
I would pull the plug on them. Let's look at who's coming on.
Don't look at the ranks. Honestly, don't look at the ranks.
They're going to pick at 28 again and have another chance to get a wide receiver. But that being said, I'm probably still gonna pull the plug. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm taking
Watson. All right,
fast wide receiver.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. I do agree with you there. I think he's going first round. I think a lot of people are underestimating that fact.
Yeah. So on the clock is the
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
Yes, sir. And look right where they can get here. Devontae Wyatt right here.
Right. Yep.
Just sitting there, right for the taking.
A very, very good pick right there. I think you got a centerpiece for a long time if you take him. Yep. Cowboys. I think they could take probably anything, but you let me know what you think, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, most of their stuff is going to come on the defensive side. They obviously need a few offensive linemen, but I think you can get somebody later on. They're not desperately searching for a left tackle at this point, so Trevor Penning is off the board on that. I mean, they could definitely get Zion Johnson potentially, but I look at Jordan Davis and I just see that mammoth of a human being in the middle. I could only imagine that. So I'm going Jordan Davis at pick number 24 here.
And I mean, you want to talk about a freak athlete in the middle.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
they just got one if it falls that way.
Yep.
Yeah. I tell you what, honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed that Treylon Burke did not fall to the Bills, because that's kind of I thought that would be a really cool fit with Josh Allen out there. That being said, let's just see best player available.
I do not. Yeah, so there's an obvious answer to this.
Yeah.
Well, it's just me. I obviously it's not obvious to you, but I it's obvious.
I don't know. I mean, I think they maybe need a wide receiver, but I don't know that they go with a wide receiver right here. They also need to be better, in my opinion. They need to be better on the defensive side. I know it doesn't show that as a glaring need on here, but for me, I'm probably going to try to upgrade that cornerback room, and I'm going to go with Andrew Booth Jr.
Okay,
maybe a little bit out of left field, but I feel like that's really a need.
All right. I think for Tennessee, I think they need offensive line. They need to be able to protect Ryan Tannehill better. They traded for Robert Woods, so I don't look at wide receiver as pressing of a need. Obviously, depends on what happens with A.J. Brown. You know, if A.J. Brown's gone, it might change this. But I think I'm going to go the best offensive lineman here. I think it was Zion Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm going to take him here.
Yeah. Here, offensive lineman.
Yep.
There you go. And now the 10 up.
7. Oh, this is rough. Because obviously their needs definitely don't line up with some of the picks that they have. I don't think they're going to stretch for interior guys. I think they would just rather go with something else. I think that because of where you are and the fact that you're still looking for another really good wide receiver to add to your team, I think just to get Tom Brady even more weapons to try and get after, I think Sky Moore fits perfectly right here into this scheme.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Shouldn't have let him go that far.
You're so right. But yeah, I mean, this one's going to take me. I'm going to take a few seconds to kind of hunt around. You know, man, what if they just doubled up here at wide receiver? You know, like what if they said, you know what, we're just going to get young. We're going to get a nice pedigree in here. Man, I don't know. That might be rich for what they're trying to do. Also, I think that they could probably go in a direction. Tell you what, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go. He's a little lower ranked on here, but I think Jermaine Johnson's a really good edge. I know it's a little bit out of left field, but just too good of a football player to probably have dropped to 28 realistically in the draft. Probably doesn't happen. I'm gonna go ahead and take him.
They lost to Darius Smith, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him right now and just.
All right.
So somebody's getting one of these Chiefs picks.
Yep, I'm getting that Chiefs pick. I'm getting the first one, and I'm taking George Pickens because they don't have very many wide receivers.
You dirty, dirty human being, you.
Thank you.
There
Appreciate
you go.
that.
All right. Making it hard on me. Okay.
You're welcome.
Let's see here. I definitely think that there's going to be a cornerback being taken here. I think that, well, I mean, I don't know if they're going to go with, you know, a corner specifically because, you know, you look at guys like Louis CN over here from Georgia. I think that could be an interesting option with losing Tyrann Mathieu. I'm probably going to go with that one. I'm not going to go linebacker. I'm going to go safety with Louis CN over here.
Let's see here. I may have to pull it. Yeah, let's go.
You just got to go to the front board. It was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, Bengals. I think they've done some things to kind of upgrade their offensive line. But that being said, I mean, you're sitting there staring at Kenyon Green right now, who is a really, really good interior, sound offensive lineman. You gotta protect the franchise. I think that was one of the biggest issues last year. He was just running for his life. Joe Burrow out there. So I'm going to go Kenyon Green. I'm going to just give him security all across the board with my franchise guy.
All right, cool.
All right, looks like we are down to the last pick of the first round. It's going to be the Lions.
Yes, it is.
We went with defensive back the first time.
DB.
Cody.
That's what I thought. Okay. Then I'm going to go to Kobe Dean here.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, and that's
need.
really you're getting some real value with the last pick in the first round, no doubt.
Yep.
And we're going to start all the way back over with the Jacksonville Jaguars as we get closer to pick number 42 in the Indianapolis Colts. What say you, Derek?
Let's see here. I am contemplating. Jeez, Travis Jones, 325 pounds. Jesus, that is crazy. Here's the thing. I mean, obviously Travis Jones, he's a good player, but I do not anticipate him getting drafted above everybody else here. I know that Baylor has had some really good corners this year, and I think that they're obviously not going to go tackle. I am probably going to go with Jalen Petrie here at corner.
All right.
And the Lions yet again.
And the Lions yet again.
Do they finally get quarterback?
See, I debated it in the first round, but I was like, no, this guy's too good. Kobe Dean's sitting there. I have to take him.
Right.
But knowing that they had
because Campbell's a defensive guy.
Right.
He's a defensive guy. He loves his defensive players. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the slide stops a little bit. I'm probably going to go Kenny Pickett right here.
Okay.
I don't necessarily love any of these quarterbacks in this draft class, minus probably Malik Willis. But that being said, Ritter, Kenny Pickett, you flip a coin. But I'm going to go with the guy who was very accurate last year and get my quarterback potentially of the future.
All right. Then I think.
Do you remember wide receiver?
Wide receiver.
At 4, we gave him a lineman.
All right. Then I'll probably go DB here. And Kyer Elam is there.
Yep. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
All right.
Offensive line and edge.
And now we're looking at the New York Football Giants, who picked twice in the first round, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, I see Leo Chanel over here, and he's played really freaking well at Wisconsin, and they breed linebackers over there, tough sons of guns. So I'm gonna go with Leo here.
There you go. Now, oh my God, here's the every position. Houston Texans at 37. What they had 2 picks in the first round, right?
I believe so. They picked a wide receiver. I know. I'm trying to remember the other one.
At 3, they went with a. Did we go with a lineman with them at 3?
Good question.
No, we went with corner.
Oh,
right. It was corner and then wide receiver.
Okay.
So.
Let's just see here. Man, I mean,
I'm gonna just say this real quick, and it has nothing to do with the Texans. The fact that Trevor Penning is still there,
yeah,
it's making me feel some type of way right now.
yeah, and
dead serious,
and probably not going to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but probably too good to pass up at this point. I mean, you can all. I mean, I don't think that. I guess when they got Titus Howard on the other side, you're not gonna take him over Trevor Penning probably. So, I'm gonna lock it in.
All right.
Cool. All right. So Jets have had. Try to remember. It's hard to remember all these guys.
They had offensive line, I believe, and receiver.
Receiver. All right. So linebacker, corner. Let's look at some of these positions. Let's start with linebacker here.
Yeah, because Zach thought it'd be a great idea to make him draft a tackle in their fourth pick.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Man, not a very good linebacker core left.
No, there's not a lot of linebackers in this.
Let's go to corner then. Yeah, I didn't really like any of those guys.
Yeah, I think that corner is
Daxton Hall.
Jackson Hill is probably the best available. Yeah.
All right. We haven't addressed DB yet. Let's do it.
Okay.
Daxton Hill.
You got it. I guess
Chicago.
The Chicago
Matty
Bears.
Eberflus. What do we know about him?
Oh my gosh. There's a guy.
I don't. He's not the one making the decision on this, so
get him an edge.
I don't care. Let's see here.
Man, I tell you what, Ebiketie seems like a Matty Eberflus guy personally, but they need everything, really.
Yeah, they need a lot of help. Like I said, I think corner you can get later on. I think they need to go wide receiver here. I'm gonna go with Jahan Dotson.
Okay.
Dang, bro. I hope this doesn't happen from a Colts standpoint.
Yeah, that would
suck.
I mean, there's gonna be 6 receivers drafted before us. I hope y'all know that.
I say 7. I mean, I think at the beginning of the second round is where the huge run goes. So, all right. So we are the Seattle Seahawks, and we are, I guess, Drew Luck's our quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So, who do we take at 9, guys?
Well, they took Kyle Hamilton at 9.
Yeah,
right.
By the way, you definitely need offensive line help, so I'm gonna just at least look at that. I don't love that.
It's a little. That's too early for Abraham.
I don't love
Lucas,
that.
I'm just saying.
Corners out. Potentially, if there's any edge guys, you know what? I'm gonna take Ebiketie. I think he actually ends up going a little bit sooner than everybody else thinks, and they can use a good edge rusher. I was tempted to go with
and then they go again. Go again right here.
Who were you tempted to go with, Zach?
Desmond Ridder.
All right, then I'll go with Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, that seems like that seems like somebody to replace him with.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Desmond Ridder it is.
All right.
So here we go. Derek's going to put on the GM hat for Chris Ballard.
Yeah. Lock that in the last week of this mock draft.
You guys have to give me a few minutes to figure this one out.
Hey, you're going to get a real clock, Derek. I'm going to switch back.
Okay.
We're going to give you an actual real 5 minutes to just you go through it. Okay. Take us inside of your mind and your process as you're scrolling through all the players. And
I'm just looking at, you have to look at, if you're not trading, you have to look at, what players do you think are going to be gone before you get to pick number 73? Yeah. Right at this moment in time, I do not believe that there is a wide receiver left on the board that has me jumping out of my seat to go and get at this moment in time. Yeah. And I look at 2 positions right here, especially since I'm not looking at the tackle position right now. And this is why I think the Colts will probably trade back from this pick at some point to try and get another 3rd rounder so they can get a couple of these guys in here. But I'm looking at 2 positions. I'm looking at quarterback and I am looking at tight end. Okay. So here's the thing. I have a crush on a few of these tight ends here. And I know we have Mo Ali Cox. I know we have Granson. I just wonder if there is going to be a tight end available at that point that they love.
I'll say this while you're just thinking through it.
Okay.
If the board fell like this and I'm Chris Ballard, I'm trading out of this pick.
If the board looked like this, I'm out. I hate this board right now.
Yep.
This is
you
not
feel
a
like
good
you
board.
feel like you're reaching just about everywhere. Like you're gonna probably still get good
Exactly.
value regardless, but you're probably gonna reach if the board were to fall like this.
Yeah. True.
Let's see. I'm telling you what, I'll just say this. I think even if they traded back a few spots, there's one of these guys that could be available. Okay. There's one of these guys that could be available. Now, I don't believe that Trey McBride is going to be available by the time the Colts get a chance to get him. I just don't think he is. I think at some point he's going to get drafted early because of what he does. I will say this. Greg Dulcich out of UCLA is a beautiful human being, 6'4", 245 pounds. The dude is a physical freak. The guy can do everything. I think he could be. He's a lot of people's tight end number 2 in this whole draft. Let's take a risk on it. Let's say Greg Dulcich at that spot.
Yeah, man, that is disgusting.
Oh, whatever.
But hey, you had to pick somebody, right? Like the
Exactly.
way fell, we couldn't.
I was told I had to.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, Derek had to pick somebody, and I mean there was not a great tackle option, and there was not a great wide receiver option. So we did what we needed to do to make it happen. Overall, guys, the draft season should be incredibly fun. We're all excited. Just some final thoughts before we hop off here. I'll go to Derek first, then to Cody. What do you expect from Chris Ballard this year, like his approach? Do you feel like he's going to be aggressive? Do you feel like he's going to, trade back and try to acquire picks? Or you think he's going to stay pat?
I think, if it turns out, if our board is any indication of it, I would definitely say that he is going to definitely trade back. It would not surprise me if he traded back to pick 50 or 55 and then tried to acquire an extra 3rd round pick. Because, like I said, you got a glaring need at wide receiver and tackle for the future. So you have to get both of those positions. So I think that could definitely be something where you think, I could get Abraham Lucas and Alec Pierce in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
That could be something that you could do. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yep. Yeah, it really obviously depends on the board, but I think in my opinion, it's more likely that they trade back than they trade forward to get a guy, unless it's a quarterback they fall in love with, but in terms of wide receiver, tight end, all those stuff, I don't really see them necessarily trading up unless obviously an incredible player is falling, which I don't necessarily see happening, but I think it's more likely, all that to say, for them to trade back, acquire maybe another 3rd round pick, like Derek said. And then, boom, you have, 3 picks within the first 3 rounds, and, you feel pretty good about where you're at. And especially with how deep this draft is in certain positions that you need, including wide receiver and tight end and a little bit of the, mid to later rounds, it makes a lot of sense for me for the Colts to do this.
Yeah, 100%. How are you guys going to feel at pick 42 if Ballard does draft a quarterback? Are we for that, against that? Where are you at?
Yeah, I think originally I was kind of no, but I think I've kind of come around to the fact of if you fall in love with the guy, take him, but if it's a reach, obviously don't. And I don't think they would, but yeah, it would just definitely, I would prefer to surround Matt Ryan with weapons and protection before drafting a quarterback, because I do believe, and I think everybody believes, next year's draft is a lot better for that position. But I will say, if they fall in love with the guy and they feel like he's worth, taking there or maybe trading up for, I'm for it, man. I'm for it, because at the end of the day, if you find your guy, it doesn't matter. You can find wide receivers. You can find tackles. Finding a quarterback, especially a franchise one, a lot more difficult.
Yeah, 100%. What say you, Derek Larger?
I know most of Colts Nation says don't even take a chance. Well, I mean, look, the only reason that the Colts would be taking a chance on one of these guys is if they truly believed that they would be the future quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they obviously know that Matt Ryan's going to be there for 2+ years. So, if you're making that move, then you truly believe that this guy is going to be the future. So I'm not gonna hound on the decision. I know most of Colts Nation would be in an uproar if that happened, but I'm gonna sit back and I'm just gonna say, I hope all goes well because we truly need it. And if you think it's the guy for the future, then you don't have the luxury of just sitting back and just saying, "Oh, well, we'll do it later." No, you got to take it when you think you have the chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
No more Band-Aids, right? That's what Ballard said.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
this is the year for it. Good.
I feels like Ritter's a little bit more of a Ballard guy than any of them, in my personal opinion. I could be completely off and wrong on that, but at the very least, they're getting into this mode of scouting quarterbacks, and they're bringing people in and they're talking to them. So, maybe that's exciting. We got something for the now and maybe even for the future. Before we hop off here, guys, I just want to congratulate you on 11,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Thanks,
What
man.
an accomplishment. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I promise you, these guys have put in more work than anybody in the Colts community. And it's super impressive. And I'm just humbled to be on here with you guys, and we always have a good time, but I just want to take a second and congratulate you for the 11,000 subscribers.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Well, that'll do it for this one. Let's just hope that, what Derek Larger just did at 42 does not happen, but you never know. Hey, maybe they draft him at 42 and maybe he's like the next great tight end in the NFL, right?
Exactly.
Who knows? I mean, what do I know? We had fun. And guys, thank you so much for hopping on, and we'll do it again.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks, man.